In this recap video, we will be looking at Duterte political harassment raw, mga oil tanker lumubog, PUVMP isususpend, at marami pang iba. Kumusta for me? This is a Avoid Joseph and welcome to the news. Item Worthy Recap Weekly Edition number 60. We have tons to cover since last week, so skip the times as provided if it piques your interest. Data for the places selective selection. Here is a PH News commentary for your convenience. Duterte, binawasan ang security. Binawasan ni Philippine National Police Chief Romel Marbil ng 75 PNP security detail personnel na may escort kay Vice President Sara Duterte and all that she does. And it is a lot. Like, pumunta ng Germany habang bagyo, but that's beside the point. Now, Vice President Sara Duterte Carpio had 433 security detail noong 2022, at least according to the, ano tawag? No, not correct. Commission on Audit. And that 433 security detail noong 2022, according to COA, is 4.5 times more than the previous 78 detailed military personnel assigned to the former VP Leni Robredo noong 2021.
Unang-una, si VP Leni nagsimula yung security detail niya noong 2016, 108 lang yon. Diba? Yun na yung kumbaga pinakamataas na numerong naabot. Sa pagkakaintindi ko, based sa mga lumabas na mga articles noong 2022, nagsimula si VP Sara Duterte 433. Diba? More than 4 times yon yung nung detail ni VP Leni. Ngayon, yung 108 na yon, nabawasan pa yon. Noong 2020, 83 na lang yon. 12 officers tsaka 71 na enlisted. Alam ko nung dulo 2022 naging 78 na lang yata, 'di ba? Parang ngayon si VP Sara nagrereklamo at ginawang malaking issue na yung tinanggalan siya ng 75. Pero pag tinanggal mo yung 75 sa 433, mahigit 350 pa rin yun eh. 'Di ba? Mahigit 3 times yung pinakamalaki ng security detail ni VP Leni. Kami, never kami nagreklamo sa 6 na taon na binawasan, tinanggalan ng personnel kasi nga, 'di ba? Talagang hindi naman namin iniisip na kailangan niya ng ganung kadaming tao. Si VP Leni nga minsan nasa stress yan eh. Dahil kapag yung security team niya masyadong visible eh, 'di ba? Kasi nga feeling niya hindi naman hindi naman kailangan eh. In fact, feeling niya nagiging obstacle pa minsan yan na malapitan siya o makalapit siya sa mga tao. So, nagulat lang ako na hindi lang ginawang issue yung 75 na tinanggal, umabot pa talaga sa open letter sa PNP chief, 'di ba? Kaya ako talaga umabot na sa punto na ano ba naman, 'di ba? Parang hindi naman issue dapat 'yan. Kami nga 'di ba, na di hamak mas konti yung security detail, binawasan. Hindi namin kahit anong imik, kahit anong reklamo, hindi ginawa. Pero siya parang hindi dapat issue pero talagang pinagbuhusan ng panahon at ng oras na gumawa ng isang sulat habang walang imik tungkol dun sa issue kung saan hinahanap siya ng lahat ng tao last week, 'di ba? Yung kanyang pagkawala sa kasagsagan ng Karina.
And I know that even Roque said na, ano bang ginawa ni Lenny, blah, 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 blah. Well, I would just like to remind you na unilaterally, ang Senado noong panahon ni President Duterte, tinaas ang kanyang budget for the 2022 or 2021 budget dahil sa dami ng kanyang nagawa. And it is a reflection, yung pagtaas ng kanyang budget is a reflection kung gaano or gaano karami na ang kanyang nagawa and gagawin pa because of the promising things that she has already done, past predicting the future. Sinabi rin ng COA na 63% sa 683 na personnel ng OVP ay part ng Vice Presidential Security and Protection Group, basically saying na 6 sa 10 staff niya ay nandoon for security. At bakit niya kakailanganin? Bakit niya nga ba kakailanganin ng additional 75 PNP security detail kung she has already around 360 existing ones already? Popular naman siyang politiko, daughter of a popular populist president. Mataas ang bilang ng mga bumoto sa kanya. Hell, and even larger vote count than the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. himself. So you've got to ask, bakit niya kakailanganin ng dagdag pang PNP security detail kung meron na siyang 360 already laying around. And that is 4.5 times more than the previous 78 detailed military personnel assigned to former VP Leni Robredo. And if we are being honest here, mas mataas yung vote count niya than the president himself. So you could say na she is a more popular figure than the president himself, of which she was running with. So iisipin mo, si Leni nga, I think she only edged out a victory against Marcos noong 2016. Pero hindi niya kinailangan ng ganito karaming detailed military personnel. Sinabi ni Duterte na walang request na nangyari regarding sa pagpupull out ng 75 na mga tauhan ng PNP na inassign for her safety, and nagulat na lang daw siya at bigla itong kinuha. Now, in an open letter she addressed to PNP Chief Marbil, isa raw itong form at kaso ng political harassment. Pero bakit ka iiyak ng political harassment? Sino ang nangharas sa iyo that made it so na naiimpluwensyahan nila yung PNP chief appointed by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. himself? Kaalyado mo nga, or at least naging kaalyado mo nga, si BBM. He is your running mate and you had stuck with him for years. Yung ka-unity mo. Sinabi naman ng administrasyon na walang alitang malala that could result in what you would call as political harassment. Kasi again, they are still in good terms, even though there's a lot of bickering and of course squabble around that particular clique. Walang reason to cry out na hinaharas ka kung parte ka ng alyansa ng partido at mga leader na namamahala. Katandem mo si Marcos. You yourself claim na walang bad blood between you and the president. Sinong kinakatakutan mo that you would need this amount of people to protect you from whatever threat you may face? I mean, let's be clear here. You're a spare tire. Yun lang yung iyong duty. That's what a VP is. Wala kang hinahawakang posisyon sa ahensya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Popular ka sa mga kababayan mo. Walang preemptive o cause for alarm na sentimento laban sa iyo because again and again, you got the larger vote count. And not only that, you have a populist president of a that. And you're saying na you need this many? Bakit parang so unsure ka of the administration and the security of yours, even in a country where you are most popular? That's just weird. Sinong aatake sa'yo? Yung mga kakamping? Yung mga dilawan? Yung mga elite Starbucks loving well-meaning but liberal kakampings? Ha? Yung mga dilawan? Ano ba ito? Hindi nga kaya ng mga mayayamang liberal na kakamping at mga dilawan na pumunta sa mga lugar with less GDP per capita than small countries and even green hills. Tapos, you want protection from some ghoul? From some apparition? From some threat na walang nakakakita, walang nakakaalam, at walang bumabalak. Because again, itong mga kakamping na to, they are very vocal with the social consciousness. They're woke. They are socially conscious. Pero that's where the line ends. They don't have political rallies that would be inconvenient for them. Kaya nga nung nakaraan, di ba? Milyon-milyon ang pumunta na kakamping sa rally ni VP Leni Robredo back then. Pero saan yun? I think it's somewhere in the CBD, in the Central Business District. Kasi again and again, pauulit-ulit kung sasabihin sa inyo. Puro salita ang mga kakamping. Even if there are murmurs around you that they are bashing you, it is all warranted. This is not something that just came out of nowhere. You had jobs to do that you have failed or had done so terribly that they needed to call you out. And to be honest, they are not as socially aware as they were back then when the campaign blood is running high, that the blood is boiling of the fervor that is the 2022 elections. Bakit ka takot? Hindi ka mag-gur. Basta yung sinabi mo nung last time ng Administrasyong Marcos, because that would be political suicide. Besides, I don't think Marcos Jr. have the balls like this one. I don't think Marcos Jr. have the balls to even think of such despicable plan. He's not like his father's generals. Hindi niya kaya yon. He's not as competent as his father was. He's not as competent as his father. She added that she's calling for everyone to protect her family, including her mother, her husband, 4 offsprings, both online and offline harassments, na wag raw palampasin ang sino mang gagawa ng kapahamakan laban sa kanilang pamilya, sa kanyang pamilya. Boo-hoo! You're a political figure. You have been red tagging everyone. Tapos ngayong may bumabatikos sa mga pinaggagawa mo, which are mostly warranted, bigla ka na lang magsasabi na, oh, protekta mo kami, yung mga trolls dyan, nakakatakot sila. Eh, ikaw nga, you are possibly a suspect in the ICC's investigation sa mga death on war on drugs. Tapos, ngayon, natatakot ka sa mga kakamping, sa mga liberal, social, woke MFs? Why so? Bakit ka ganun? Bakit ka natatakot sa mga ganitong tao? And, of course, the elephant of the room. We know na hindi ka takot sa mga ganitong asasinasyon galing sa mga liberal na tao, sa mga kakamping. Because they don't have the guts to do it. Wala sila sa isang lugar that they could just get a weapon, get a sumpak to just pak you. They don't have the license. We don't have the right to bear arms. We don't have that in the Constitution. And so, it is not easy for anyone, let alone the liberals. Of course, nasa likod ni VP Sara si Senator Bato de la Rosa, with him calling for former members ng PNP at AFP to take up and volunteer without pay para sa proteksyon ni VP Sara Duterte. I mean, ang kapal ng mukha, di ba? She already has 360 people protecting her. Nabawasan ng 75 from 433. It's not just me that's doing this. It's not just me that's baffled by the idea na natatakot ka sa sarili mong tao just because and only because there are some people that bashes you in particular for warranted reasons. I would have been more than okay if you had 433 security personnel, if there is a viable or there is a credible news or credible sources that could indicate the attempts on your life, threats on your life. But at the moment, there is none. And the boogeyman that you have been proclaiming about are just teens, or just millennials, zillennials, and Gen Z. Some even alpha. I don't think there would be anyone that could inflict a threat so large that you would need 433 security personnel. Napakarami nun. At this is the more baffling one. Mas marami yun sa presidente. Mas marami siyang security personnels kesa sa presidente himself. The one that is calling the shots. She should na, kaya raw tinanggal yung kanyang mga PNP personnel ay dahil raw siya'y nag-resign sa DepEd. Paglabas ng isang definitely deepfake cocaine video ni Marcos where he is apparently seen and videoed snorting cocaine. And yung sinasabi niyang paghambing ng SONA sa isang catastrophic event, probably by her referring to herself as the designated survivor. Now, I like to pile on to Marcos the most times I could. Pero this deepfake video is it's just sad. Like, did they not have anything? I mean, sure, the Filipino people is gullible enough to elect the son of the former dictator who has repeatedly glorified his father's campaign, his father's tenure for 20 years in the country. Maniniwala sila sa fake news. And sure, that deepfake cocaine video is just, well, some people will or have already been fooled by that. So, I guess good for them. There are no media information literacy here in the Philippines. Sinasabi niyang isang halimbawa ng mga threat laban sa kanyang safety ang isang kumalat na photo kung saan nakita siya'y umalis ng bansa upang makasama ang kanyang pamilya sa kasagsagan ng Bagyong Karina for a personal overseas trip. Now, I wouldn't fault her kung umalis man siya nung araw na iyon because it was already a scheduled flight. It was already scheduled in all realities. And in all realities, para siyang si Ted Cruz nung pumunta ng Cancun when Texas was experiencing unprecedented snowing and some natural disaster. I mean, it was already a scheduled flight, scheduled personal overseas trip, probably weeks or even months in advance. So, I wouldn't really pile on to that. It's also really funny considering mas malaki pa yung bilang ng kanyang bodyguard kaysa sa presidente ng Pilipinas. And that just goes to show you na sinong kinakatakutan niya, di ba? Now, may dalawang anggulong pwede natin tignan here. Talagang meron ngang banta sa kanyang buhay at sa kanyang pamilya, but she just cannot say how or that she thinks there is a threat, a credible threat. Dahil ang babaw nung kanyang example na binigay patungkol sa nagpicture sa kanya and baka OA lang si ate. Or the more likely one, number two, gusto niya lang magpapansin, which she has been doing these past few months with her splitting off semi-cryptically sa Unity. Splitting off semi-cryptically sa Unity. Of course, there's some threat of CPP, NPA, NDF, but come on, dude. You're not even the one calling the shots. I mean, sure, you're a red tag and son of a gun. You already resigned as the vice chairperson sa NTF-ELCAC. So, what is there to be afraid of? Now, sinabi ang dahilan raw kung bakit binawasan ang kanyang security detail ay dahil daw bahagi raw ito ng pagkuha ng PNP personnel ay para maibigay ito sa Presidential Security Personnel Group. Chu. Okay, I didn't finish this script, but anyway, whatever. Sinabi at pinoprotektahan naman ni presidential sister na si Senator Amy Marcos ukol sa pagtanggal lalo na raw at may mga banta sa kanyang buhay, particularly because she was apparently a strong red tagger. A communist identifier, anti-communist, which meant grave threat that may compromise the safety of the vice president. Anyway, she is in Mindanao, so that's probably it. I will concede that. No, basta, ang gulo nila. I mean, is the sister trying to play the devil's advocate? Trying to move away from always supporting his brother to create an illusion of an opposition? Diba? Kasi ganun lagi niya ginagawa, lalo na sa Maharlika Investment Fund. Tapos, nung napasa na yung law, she just says, let's support the MIF corporation and hope that it succeeds in its very well-intentioned duties. She opposed it, but now she's okay with it. And let's just support it. Let's go Unity. Diba? Who knows? Here are some more page news for your convenience. Mga oil spill sa Bataan. Panibagong oil spill na naman ang dagdag sa ating mga mamalangkaya. Mga kababayan, what happened is, tumuob ang isang oil tanker na may kargang 1.4 million liters ng industrial fuel sa Bataan and a few kilometers away from Limay, Bataan. Paulit-ulit na siya sa Bataan, pero Bataan, huwag isusuko ang Bataan. Mas maraming oil na karga ang tanker na MT Terra Nova na maaari para umabot sa Bulacan at Cavite kung ikukumpara sa oil tanker na MT Princess Empress na may kargang 900,000 liters ng industrial fuel na lumubog malapit sa Oriental Mindoro, which cost an estimated 5 billion pesos sa damages sa agrikultura, which includes the fisheries last year. Sa 17 crew members ng MT Terra Nova, isa ang namatay samantalang ligtas naman ang 16 niyang kasama. Now, this is a pretty concerning deal at hindi lang dahil sa laki na magiging pinsala nito sa bio at ecosystem ng ating mga mamulangkaya and probably even agriculture among other things kasi nga napunta ito sa I think Bulacan and Cavite as well. We also remember na the boat that capsized na may dalang kulang-kulang 1.5 milyong litro ng industrial fuel ay nataob dahil sa lakas ng ulan due to Typhoon Gamy, meaning malamang sa malamang, naikalat pa nito lalo yung industrial fuel na could have been contained much easier if not for the fact na there's a typhoon and a pretty large one at that has been spreading the entire thing. May panibagong tanker din ang sumadsad, again in Bataan, the MV Mirola 1, na walang nagbugmano, walang tripulante, and with unknown origins, or at least that's how they found it. However, the government tried to reassure the people dahil sinasabi nilang kahit malawak na yung kumalat na industrial fuel, minimal ang leak na naganap at mas mababaw ang MT Terra Nova kung ikukumpara sa last year's MT Princess Empress that again resulted in 5 billion pesos worth of agricultural damage. Nagdeklara na rin ng state of calamity ang probinsya ng Cavite sa mga apektadong lugar to minimize contamination and of course disruption, lalo na sa mga mangingisda na gusto pa rin pumalaot. Trillanes, kinasuhan si Duterte. Nag-file na naman muli ng kaso si dating Senador Antonio Trillanes IV, this time laban kina Davao City's 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte, former Customs Chief Nicanor Faendon, Mans Carpio at marami pang iba. Dahil sa di umano'y Shabu equipment na mahigit 6 billion sa Valenzuela City noong 2017 in conjunction sa isang Senate Blue Ribbon Committee against Richard Tan. Now, sinabi naman ni Representative Paulo Duterte na mabuti at final niya yung kaso sa Korte ng Pilipinas instead sa Korte ng Facebook at utak ng isang trililing na sundalong kanip. A pretty bold accusation and words. Pretty big deal for you all.
Ngayong araw na ito, ako po ay nag-file ng drug smuggling charge against si Pulong Duterte, Mans Carpio na asawa ni Sara Duterte, Nicanor Faildon, Allen Capuyan, Charlie Tan at iba pang miyembro ng Davao Group Drug Smuggling Syndicate. Ito ay in connection with the 6.4 billion peso shabu shipment na nahuli noong 2017. Ang mga nakalap namin na ebidensya ay bunga nung Senate investigations noong 2017 din, pero ito yung mga pinilit na pagtakpan nung Duterte administration nung sila ay nakapwesto pa. Kaya ngayon, nakahanap tayo ng magandang pagkakataon na mag-file nitong kasong ito.
Now, I hate to be the one to say it, and I know this may sound controversial, pero parang magkaaway itong dating Senador Trillanes at Paulo Duterte. Just a hunch, okay? Hindi ko alam kung totoo, pero parang, di ba? Kasi parang galit sila sa isa't isa. PUV Modernization Program gustong isuspend. Naglabas ng resolution ang Senado ng Pilipinas patungkol sa PUV Modernization Program. Sinabi sa Senate Resolution 1096 ang mga pananaw at pagtawag sa ating mga kinaukulang otoridad tulad ng ehekutibo, particularly the President, DOTR at ang kanilang wing na LTFRB. Niladaan ng 22 senador ang resolusyon na umuudyok ng temporaryang suspensyon ng implementation ng Public Transportation Modernization Program or PUV Modernization Program ng DOTR LTFRB. Isa lamang ang hindi pumirma sa resolusyon, si Senator Risa Ontiveros, with one person, Senator Angara, na nirelinquish ang kanyang posisyon as the Senate for the remainder of his term para mag-serve as the DepEd Secretary matapos magbitiw sa kanyang pwesto si Vice President Sara Duterte as the kalihim ng departamento noong June 19 that took into effect nitong July 19. Sinabi nilang masyadong nirush at walang konkretong plano ang gobyerno para i-address ang kakulangan ng mga ruta, kakayahan ng ating mga lugar, lalo na ang single operator at driver dynamic ng ating pampublikong transportasyon, along with thousands of jeepneys na hindi pa nakakapag-consolidate under PUVMP. Now, kung gusto nyong malaman yung mga pinagsasabi ko, yung mga sinabi ko patungkol sa PUV Modernization Program, I have a dedicated video just for that. I think it's 20 minutes long and it's just me yapping. Pero, I mean, if you're watching this, then I feel like you would like me to just yap and yap. 2025 proposed budget ni PBBM. Nung inilabas na ng Department of Budget and Management ang kanilang proposed 2025 national budget na nagkakahalaga ng 6.352 trillion pesos, 10% higher than the 2024 approved national budget of 5.768 trillion or 22% ng ating GDP of around 28 trillion or around a few $100 billion. Now, according to fiscal year 2025 budget at a glance as prescribed by the Constitution, ang pinakamahalagang slice ng ating budget ay mapupunta sa sektor ng edukasyon na pinangungunahan ng DepEd, state universities and colleges, CHED at TESDA with a proposed budget of 977.6 billion pesos, up around 9 billion from last year. Sumunod naman ang Public Works with 900 billion pesos, down from the last year's 997.9. Wait, ba't mas mataas yung Public Works? From last year's 997.9 billion. Health sector with 297.6 billion pesos, down from 303.3 billion pesos. Interior and local government 278.4 billion from 263 billion. Defense 256.1 from 240 billion, social welfare of 230 billion down from 248.1 billion, agriculture sector of 211.3 billion down from 221.7 billion, transportation sector with 180.9 billion from 73.9 billion, judiciary sector of 63.6 billion from 60.2 billion, and justice, which is somehow different than just the than just the judiciary sector of around 40.6 billion pesos from 38.2 billion pesos. One of the things that kind of bugs me is the fact na maraming universidad tulad ng PUP, I think even UP, has had their budgets or their proposed budgets at yan ang pagtapos ng News and Worthy Recap Weekly Edition for roughly the 5th week of July 2024. Mag-suggest some more topics and our corrections to the balitas if you feel I misrepresented them in any way. Salamat sa panonood mga kayo. For me, like, subscribe, and follow my links in socials and for Joseph that will be linked down below. So susunod bali, of course,